What is going on? What is going on? Happy Thursday, guys. A little bit of a late start today. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Thank you for working with me as far as getting on here. Welcome, welcome. Looking forward to you guys spending the day with me. We're going to be looking at some setups as we're getting closer towards the end of the week. Looking for potential targets to start TPing our positions. We had some shorts from yesterday. Those were profitable. Wild night last night for London overall. And so I'll be going over that here with you guys. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get everything set up. Let's get everybody in here and we'll take it from there. Let's get these charts on the screen first. And let's go ahead and open up some docking stations for chat. No, I haven't gotten that yet. I'll take that as a compliment, though. I'm just getting some things set up for Discord, and I'll be right with you guys. Just give me a second here. And out of curiosity, are you guys actually getting some of that music in the feedback this time, this go around? I'm hoping I fixed everything that needed to be fixed. I got some of these charts on here, kind of things that I'm looking at. Pretty big pull from yesterday. Just right off the bat, if you're just kind of strolling in here right now, what we're looking for, ideally, we'd want to see this current candle on the daily, if you will, close underneath these key levels, 33.27, just inside that range, and then we can get a new setup phase. But if it does close above, then we're going to have a 9 failure, and that's going to target where that imbalance is going to have to get filled. So we'll dive into that here in a second. Oh, you can hear it? Okay, good. But you can barely hear it. Okay, good. I don't have it too loud. That's one of the reasons why. So hang on, let me set a couple things up here so I can chat with you guys. Yeah, it would be pretty interesting. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo bien? I don't know who Jason Hawes is. Maybe you guys can hear it a little bit better that way, right? Let me know if that's just too loud. Just let me know. I'll turn it down some. Hopefully you guys can hear me at the same time. Expecting 34.4, 34.08 to close long and add to your shorts. That's what's up. So essentially I'm late because we did have our class, but I was up during London. I did long that position. I did TP right around 33.71 inside that range. It went a little bit higher, and then I started activating some shorts right around 33.69. And then I longed again this level right around 32.88, averaging right around 32.97. So I'm mainly scalping out the long. I'm anticipating that we're going to see a push down here. Mind you, we do have roughly 5 more hours left inside of this current session, the 1362 session. So we're going to be observing that here now. We're going to be looking at some lower time frames. I do have a wave count that I was observing as well too. I believe that we are in a potential wave 2 on lower time frames. And if that is the case, then we would need to close above 33.27 to get another impulse and go into a wave 3. So we'll be diving all over all that together today. I want to look at a couple things here. Let me just fix a couple things on my side and we'll be ready to go. Right. So we'll have the opportunity to check out volume together, look at the charts at the same time, and you guys can see where I'm positioned. So trying to eliminate as many questions as humanly possible all inside one screen. I don't know if the video quality is better for you guys, but I did take a little bit of time yesterday to adjust some of that, so I'm hoping that the video quality is a little bit better on the charts. Maybe you'll be able to see it here a little bit better when we actually look at the charts specifically. It's possible that my audio here, I'll just make sure that my gain is all the way up for it. Let's just make sure that it is picking up the right mic and not picking up a different mic. Yeah, it's picking up the right mic. Yeah, sound should be coming in fine. Alright, bet. Alright, all systems point towards yes. Let's get it. So first things first, as I was mentioning, just higher time frame. Looking at this, you can see the gray boxes that I have marked out over here, which kind of lines up with where this green box is at as well too. You know, we have a short-term demand area. This could very well still be that handle if we're looking at that cup and handle that we were viewing from like a 144 as well too, right? We're still inside that handle per se. So for me, if we're continuously going to be bouncing inside of this zone and we close above here, then on this time frame, which is a higher time frame, if this closes above, this is going to show a 9, and this is going to be a 9 that's going to be a failure essentially at the end of the day. Coupled with that, we also do have a 12 on the lead up phase when we're looking at a sequential count. That sits right over here. So that also kind of points towards that this trend isn't fully exhausted yet. I do want to see that this area does get swept. That would be ideal. But it's just all about building right now. I don't know if we're going to see that going into Friday. We may see some type of crazy move on Sunday. I put a pin in that because we did have a pump going into 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, which is not a normal thing. Ah, good old coffee. And so let's go down to the slower time frames. Show you what I've been playing around with. Oh, there it is. Okay, can I see you on a? I got you on all the minutes, so let's go slightly higher. Let's go to like a 21. All right, cool. So yesterday, let's recap kind of what we were looking at yesterday. Yesterday we were playing around with on a 13-minute. We were playing around with this ABC correction coming down to this 3277 level, that fib level, and boy oh boy, it tapped beautifully right into that, level. So this C level looks like it was created, it was formed. The next move usually that's going to follow that is going to be an impulse. So looking at this as being an impulse one, this just move up right over here. I didn't want to count this as a wave 2 just because that's not theoretically right for a wave 2. So I just kind of measured out these swing points right over here from that high from this low to this high, and I'm treating this as if it's a wave 2. Invalidation would be if we come down, continuously come down lower in today, and we breach this level right over here, 32.77, then that wave count is going to be invalidated. The next potential targets, if we do breach that level that I'd be looking at, 32.64, there's some confluence that sits inside of that area in the event that we're going to maintain and hold this trend line. So maybe we come and just sweep this area over here, and it's just kind of starting all over again, looking for that impulse 1, and then maybe potentially looking at a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. If it just decides to go, you know, ham and starts nuking down to these levels, we do have an imbalance that sits right around 32.07, 32.12 inside of this area. So it's something that I'd also be paying attention to. This is why I positioned myself in a sense of short. I did take profits on short already though so far. I did position myself on a long twice, fully TP'd already once, and then took another long here inside of this area. So a little bit heavier on my short than I am on my long, but not by much. So I wouldn't be missing out on too much profit in the event that I do run all the way back up to entry. I would still be positioned to where I would still be profitable in that sense. You can take a look at it here, right here. You can actually see where my current positions are at for the day and what I'm going to be working with. Let's see what some of these bigger players are doing out there right now. I haven't really checked on them, so we'll be checking on them together here first. So we had a couple that are opening here at this 33.33 area. 33.36, 33. So 3 hours, 4 hours ago. A couple at 33.70. I'm looking for those that are in the 3200s. I think a lot of those guys. I got a couple here. One at 32.93. What's going on, guys? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Oh, we got some. Howard's your price 31.42. 6 days ago? Damn, were we really there 6 days ago? Is that move that aggressive? So this guy's been holding. Was this really 6 days ago? Yeah, it really was 6 days ago. Okay. So much happens in crypto. A full day can feel almost like an entire week sometimes. Okay, so we got some of these guys that are still holding from the lower 3,100 handles. You know, if I was institutional money and I'm trying to target anybody in particular, I would most likely be trying to target those guys, which brings us right over to this level right over here. So I would say create an imbalance right over here inside this area. But not, excuse me, not create an imbalance. Clear the imbalance here at this level. And man, oh man, that would be quite disgusting. Coming all the way back down to 3,092 inside that area. We got to remember what last month looked like from a monthly perspective. Like, let's just take a look at that real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this here on your chart. I'll go ahead and open it up on a different chart here so you guys can see it a little bit better visually. But let's look at that, right? Like, we do have quite a nasty pull down even after we reach these levels. So there's not only there's a lot of resistance here in this area. Remember that 33.53 area that I was talking about before? You know, even if I go to like a 610, excuse me, the 1362 time frame, you know, we're still closing underneath that. Every wick that's above that does so far is just purely just liquidation. It's just pushing out high leverage individuals that are shorting in that area. And then people seeing it going higher, people that are literally buying the top. That's why you see such a deep retracement down. So we have two theses really that are working with that. If we're going to maintain and hold this level and we're going to go higher, then we're inside of a cup and handle. And we're in the handle section right now. And that handle section should take us all the way up to roughly 3,500s and some change. If we start to lose these levels, we start to lose this area right over here. This is a significant area for a cup and handle in order for it to hold. If we lose that area, then this becomes invalidated, and that opens the door for all these levels right down here to be tapped into. We did tap into, from a wave 4 perspective, I also give you this in addition to that. You know, we were looking at this being a potential wave 3. And a lot, again, I'll just keep reiterating, a lot of this is contingent on how we close on the daily. If we can maintain this area right over here, two things that we can actually look at this from a bullish perspective. One would be that wave 4 is in because we tapped into that 0.236 level, which typically, you know, wave 2 is going to be sharp. Wave 4 is going to be relatively flat. Flat levels are going to be 0.236, 0.382, and even 0.5. Can you get a sharp wave 4 correction? Absolutely, you could. But let's go back into what that wave 2 was like. That was a 618. So it really only opens up to two options. If we're going to go flat, we go flat. If we're going to go sharp, then that puts us all the way down over here inside of these levels. Somewhere inside of here, if we get to these levels, I believe that it has a higher potential of being completely invalidated and then just completely running these lows. So from a bullish perspective, if you're bullish, you're looking at cup and handle, you're looking at a wave 4 0.236 level being tapped into. Now you need confirmation. You want to make sure that the daily can close above 33.24, 33.27. That's not to say the next day, tomorrow, that we don't get another flush down to the downside. So as long as we can maintain that area, then we'll be all right. I lost the docking station, so hang on real quick. Oh, there it is. I kind of just went over that just now on the 1362. That level is going to be key, because then it changes the setup phase. And if it changes the setup phase, let's just go 9 candles down. You know, that's going to erase all these levels over here. You might get a couple bounces, but nevertheless, it's going to push down to monthly lows, which I believe were 29.70. That's where we opened up at. So that puts us right over here. Excuse me. Right here. So I'll actually mark that out for you so you have a visual of that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch screens real quick for you guys. Yes, I'm in trades. Let's try to stay locked in on this, guys. You guys, a lot of what I'm going to be going over is going to be explained here up front. If you're late to the stream and you're now just catching this, then rewind. It's going to be a powerful tool for you. Can't we remove the no cover music so I can listen to my music while watching? No, bro. I listen to music when I'm trading. I have music here in the background to fill the noise and fill the silence. So I hear you, but that's a pretty wild request. Do you want me to change my shirt too? You want me to paint the walls? Maybe you don't like the color? That's wild, man. That's a fast way to get me off a stream, I tell you that much. So ideally, if we can get another revisit inside of this area, I like that. I want to see that occur here on a 21 minute. I'm going to be a little bit risky here and look at potential building longs inside of this area. I'll keep the short. You can see that the short is there. I'm going to be running the short just to maintain and protect me in the event that I do get a flush down. Then I'll just push out of my long. I don't want to add to any shorts here or anything like that. That's just not something I'm interested in either. My day's good, man. My day's good. No, I'm listening to the same music you guys are listening to. It's all good. I'm listening to the same music you're listening to. Day's going good. We had our class today. It was in and out. Went to bed super late. Literally traded this move to the downside and then longed it last night. I was just like, where are you going? So I'm in Africa. I'm in the middle of the jungle. In the concrete jungle. Class isn't recorded. Class just doesn't record it. Those are going to be exclusive to Discord members and those that are showing up. Got a little rush today. Had a couple people asking about, when the stream's starting, but I had to get some grub in. Man's got to eat. So yeah, we had it this morning. I think it was like right around like 8:30 is when I started, and then I hopped off right around like 9:17. So it was quick. It was like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I got off right before market open for New York, at least cash market for New York. One thing I did want to check real quick. I did want to check those liquidity pockets real quick. I mean, there's really nothing down over here in this area, right? Even 3175, all that jazz. I mean, the true liquidities literally starts at 3075. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if we lose these levels, if we lose this handle, this thing is going to sink like a rock. If we do have a true cup and handle, then we have potential targets that start at 35.39. Actually, I'll put that here back on the chart. I'll go to 144. I think we were doing the measured move from that yesterday. $35.43, and if we look here where that liquidity pocket is right over here, that's, geez, I can't even see. I'm feeling old here. 35.22 in that area. So I want to see that we can maintain these levels. So I'm open to longing inside of these zones, longing some of these dips. I think today And even tomorrow, it's going to be somewhat stagnant. I feel like if we get a couple more dips into this area, you know, just continuously keep building that long in that area, then start stripping your short. If we get a flush down, then you're going to already be positioned. Then you're going to just look for the add back on the short when we get to that point. But these are strong moves, guys, from a bullish perspective. And even 3,500, you know, even though that we're talking about 3,500s and higher levels, I'm not saying like, you know, we're going to be going to all-time highs and things of that nature. I just look at this as higher levels for a bearish retest, really. You know, the higher we go, the deeper we're going to go. So we went to 3,400, and then we bottomed out somewhere around, what was that, like 2,700? So just think about that logically, right? We went to 34.23, and we made a higher low. So let's do the opposite here in that sense. Let's go higher than that. Let's clear that area, and then we can get enough momentum to sweep all these areas. So just give us our continuation pattern, which would be the cup and handle. That's a continuation. It's not a reversal. It's a continuation. Give us a continuation to that 3,500, maybe 3,600. You know, if we want to get into those levels, you know, this whole block right over here, this block right here, this red block, then that would ultimately mean that we do have a wave 4 that did complete here in this area, and we have a wave 5 that lines up over here. So we have confluence that lines up in that regard. Right, and then that would also feed into the daily giving us our wave 4 being confirmed, just a little bit higher than the 0.382. It's a bearish retest levels that we were looking at. I'll show it here for you guys just in case any of you are lost. This is kind of what I'm looking at here. I was looking at these levels. We'll move this over. You can see it here. See, we already tapped into it just fine here once before, but I think if anything, we can just sweep that. Maybe get a little bit higher. Worst case scenario, get into here. So all of these are still going to be considered bearish retest levels. If you can't see that, I'll go ahead and open that up on a different chart for you. From a daily perspective, that's kind of what it looks like. So all these are bearish retests. Bearish retest, bearish retest, bearish retest. I mean, I wouldn't get super excited like, okay, we're going all-time high. Even if we went to 3,900, that would be great. My long would be, that'd be great for my long. I'd be super excited about that in that regard. But as far as structure goes, as far as how the market is developing, I would still look at those as bearish retest levels. So I'm open to shorting those levels and anything that kind of falls in between on the lower time frames. So on the lower time frame, 1362 is slightly lower than a daily. But let's go back to that on Bytonix. That's where you see that 3574. It's right in between that that daily that we're just looking at here on index. It's right in between the 0.5 and 0.32. So it's, you know, it's going to be a hidden fib, if that makes any sense. It's going to be essentially a hidden level that I'm looking at. So if we can tap into that level and then push down, then I'm still counting that as bearish retest, and then we can get our push down. Ultimately, you know, retesting 2,500, 2,516, that's point of control. That's a good sweep. That would be considered very bullish. We can get even down all the way down to 2,200. Because I believe from a monthly perspective, we do have this set up right over here. And there's actually a fib that's missing on there. Not a fib, excuse me, a correction. Maybe I don't have it there. Maybe I have it on here. Yeah, I have it here. I gotta fix that, but that's okay. It's the same idea. It's just I'm missing an additional layer. So you see these levels as well too. Like considering that we're inside of an ABC, you know, we tap right into this 34, 44 area once before. We have room all the way up to, you know, 3605. This is looking at it from a monthly perspective. 3886. You know, all bearish retest levels at the end of the day. So these are levels that we could potentially be going to. This is why when you're looking at your shorts, you just want to kind of treat them as scalps or even intradays. You know, there's potential to come down a lot lower. but maybe not in one swoop just yet. The market's still a little bit more aggressive with that, and we really need to be gauging what USDT does here on these time frames. So USDT is like fighting for its life right now. USDT hit a pretty key level, and if USDT can maintain this level and pushes back up, then yeah, you're going to see a dump on ETH. I'd say if it can get back into this zone. So let's go with A, B, and then C. That didn't start, so then I really look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is going to have continuation down to the downside, which I think it would start recovering, then you'd see an ABC and then down. But I think you'll probably see an impulse 1. I think you'll see a move up. Let's just estimate somewhere inside of this green box, inside this area. Then you'd see a wave 2 correcting maybe 61, 76, 88% of that. And then getting another strong move above for like a wave 3. So while this is moving up, you're going to see ETH essentially feel like it's being decapitated. And then it'll come back down, you'll get a little pump, and then it'll really make a move up, and then that's when it's really going to flush. But this is over the course of next 60, 70, maybe even 90 days. I'm really gauging by April is when we start seeing a transition as far as the market truly bottoming out. And then from that point going forward, then yeah. Because essentially we've been inside of a bear market since when? Like October? October-ish? Not even. I'll back up for a second. Since August. Take that back. Since August. And, you know, I'm saying bear market, right? Not like, okay, we're going to like 300 or something like that. I'm saying bear market because I'm using the term bear market because it's a corrective phase. Anytime we've had on higher time frames deep corrective phases, those are considered bear markets. You can see them highlighted here. Right, strong impulse. Then we had, you know, this deep corrective phase. This lasted almost what? I think it was a year. I think these all almost lasted a year. And if I'm going from August, this is roughly a year. So around September, I would say around like April, March, you know, if we do get a flush down and we get a nice flush down, we'll make new lows and then move sideways for a little bit because we're going to have to accumulate. And then we'll have a breakout. And that's when the breakout would end roughly around like July or something like that this year. Then going forward, going into 2027, that's when we would start to see, you know, all-time highs, things like that. That's why I have all-time high marked off right around like June of 2027. So corrective phases can last roughly about a year or so. Yeah, people were also calling for 12K last year too. I don't know. It doesn't mean that ETH doesn't have the potential to reach those levels. I just, you know, we're still inside of that consolidation phase. I mean, if we break below, you know, $900 or, you know, somewhere inside of these levels, then yeah, it's an oh crap type of situation, type of scenario. But, you know, coming down to $1,900, $2,200, shoot, it can come all the way down to $1,400. I mean, that's still relatively bullish in the grand scheme of things. If you just look at the chart and just look at the trend and the trajectory of where it's going, you know, it's making higher lows. That's going to be deep for a lot of individuals, but at the end of the day, from a cycle perspective, it's making a higher low. Even if BTC comes down to, you know, 70K, it's a higher low. That could be the bear market for BTC. You know, and then this thing got giga bullish, if you will, bearish retest. If it got really, really aggressive here, you know, it's saying wave B sits around 4,200. If it just decided to go there, still bearish retest. We went to 4,500, still bearish retest. It goes to 4,700, still bearish retest. We got to break a new high. We got to break a new high. So every level in between there is part of that internal structure, right? We made this move up to the upside. So everything that falls underneath here, that's from this swing point to this swing point, everything that falls inside here is considered bullish retest. Everything that goes into this level from this swing point to this swing point, that's considered bearish retest. You had to break the structure. So we would have to break this structure in order for it to be a true quote unquote bear market in that sense. So we're sweeping previous year lows. That would make this year, you know, the bear market low. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But it's going to be a long consolidation phase, just like what we had for what over in these years right over here. I mean, this took 2021, it finished in 2022, just shy of a year. But see, after we dumped, look, we just kind of moved sideways for a good while. Small little pumps, then retracements, then finally got a push up, then it started retracing, then harder retracements back to support levels here in this area to retest these zones. Because once it pushed up, it really didn't even come back into this area to retest it. Pretty significant area. You can see it's right here. That's wave one. See? Pretty significant area. I don't think we'll breach that, right? Can we get to 1900, maybe 1800? Absolutely. Absolutely. And still be considered bullish. We'd have to literally lose these 1400 levels and then it would most likely free fall. That would be one of the most disgusting bear markets I've personally ever witnessed for crypto. I was in it here. I wrote a lot of these positions down, especially 3500s, wrote them down to these levels. But again, just want to kind of reiterate, like this took like 11 months, 10 months. This took just about a year. Actually, that was a little bit shorter. Yeah, that took about a year. From January to December. So they usually last about a year. So we're roughly about we're about 5 months into this bear market, if you will. Essentially, we would have, just based on previous markets, previous corrections, we have roughly about 5, 6, maybe 7 more months of this stuff. February, March, April, May, June. That's what I was saying. Looking at June, that's, you know, when we get into March, we start bottoming out. If we get that flush, move sideways through June. Because look, once we flush down to these levels, then we move sideways for a couple weeks. Then you'll get your pop. Once you get your first pop, that's going to be your wave one. Then you're going to get your second chance longs. Then you put everything on, bet all on black, and then ride it for a wave three. That's really what we're going to be looking for here, except on an ABC. ABC. Once we get into this level, that wave C would essentially fill wave 4. That it could come to this level, 2518. It could come a little bit lower, 1940s, whatever level it decides to come to. That's where you're going to have your big bet. That's going to be your swing. That's something that you sit in for a year. It's a good spot buy. Maybe you don't want to do leverage trade. It's going to be a good spot buy. I'm hoping this stuff makes sense to you guys. When it comes to candle analysis, it's typically going to be your higher time frames, because that's where the better data is at. You may get a shooting star, bearish engulfing, what have you, on a lower time frame. But that could be short term. You want to defer back to your higher time frames.
Introducing the new shows experience on YouTube.
So I want to check a couple things on my side. Same thing for USDT, kind of what I was looking at and kind of going over with, like, USDT just looks like it just has this dip, but it's got, from a wave, not a wave count, a sequential count perspective, you know, it's got some imbalance that sits inside this area, and I believe I have it on a 610. Was it a 610? Yeah, on a 610. Actually, no, in data, I think that's on a daily. Nope, it's on a 610. I got a wave 5. I would adjust this. This would be essentially be my wave 4. I was looking at these different levels, so this would have been my wave 4. Actually, I'll make that adjustment. But wave 5 would put us like around 7.298. That'll give us our lows. That'll definitely take us 2200, 1900. 100%. And there's some imbalance that sit at some of these levels. Like, this is an example right over here. Mind you, this is a 610. I think I can find the same thing even on a daily as well too. Nine finished there, but no, it was on a 610. Right over here, you see this 9, but I got a 7 above. So I never cleared this area. We haven't even come back to that area yet. So I would definitely, at bare minimum, coming back and retesting somewhere inside of this brown box for USDT. Let me get to some of your questions. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. You don't have to apologize. Give me a second, guys. Getting to you guys coming down. Yeah, 1800 would be. I mean, I don't think 1800 would hurt. I think it would just be ETH on discount. Great opportunity to buy. 2500s, 2200s, 1800s, all those levels. Those are all the levels that I'd be looking at. It's going to 34.20 within 7 hours. Okay. Can we get some buy opportunities in there? Not if you're hedging it. If you're doing a spot buy and then you're just running some leverage on the side, you could offset some of your fees. I appreciate that. Thank you, Walker. Appreciate that. GG, GG. Good morning, good morning. If we go to like 1800s, or if USDT goes to like that 7 point something area, that puts BTC in the 70s, upper 60s, like 64. Puts us inside those areas. I really want to see what occurs here inside this box. That's kind of what I'm focused on. I really think there's going to be buy opportunities here. I got a lot of boxes that are sitting right over here. I'll clean that up. But you can see kind of what I'm working with right now. Actually, I'll lower this because this is on a 13 minute. So I'll come in here. And it kind of bleeds over into here. So essentially you got a pretty big order block that sits inside this zone. I'd be looking for longs here in this area. If we can get down to those levels. One thing I'm going to do on my side. I'm going to have this. And so I'll leave that runner going on the short. But not a bad day though so far. We've done what, 26. We close out right now 332 for the day. That's not to impress any of you guys, but just more so impress upon, think of some of these high-paying educational type of positions, doctors, lawyers, even politicians for that matter. I posted this on my corner just the other day. Doctors, high-paying doctors are making like $150 an hour, $500 an hour. Some are making like $2,500 a day. So you're making $100 in an hour or something like that, or in 2 hours. I mean, you're making doctor money. I see sometimes people are like, oh man, I only made like $200 today. I'm like, bro, some people don't even get paid that. So just quick check-in with you guys. Music is okay. You guys got a good balance. You can hear my voice. You got some sounds in the background to fill the gap. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I really don't trade BTC. I wouldn't call it saying like on bears. There we go. I want to see this move come down. I want us to get into this box right over here. Yeah. I longed last night and rode it all the way up to that 33.71 area. Took profits on that long, closed it, opened up a a short right around 33.69. You can see it here. I've taken some profits on it, and then I've relonged this area, this 32.97, 32.88 area. So if I can get into this level again, I'll look for some add backs inside that zone. I'm wanting to close above 33.27. That's really what I'm looking for. If I'm wrong, I'm positioned. I'll be covered. I'll get pushed out of my long, but I'll take that. That's okay. I've already taken profits that's on it, so it won't kill me, if that makes any sense. I'm looking at a wave 2. Yeah, if it doesn't hold again, then I'm good. I'll just be positioned. I'll take a small hit on that. Nah, bro. I wouldn't disagree. I disagree with that one for a wave 1. You got an impulse up to here to 33.81. If it breached above that area, then you wouldn't have a wave 1, then you'd still be inside that wave 5. So looking at wave 1 here, and then wave 2. That was from this morning. That was an example I was giving. Shift bottom there on a 1 minute. And I got a couple shape bottoms, so let's flush those out. And when I'm at 32.93, so I'm at 32.88 that I have right there. Okay. Just shy of that. Just shy of that. I'm gonna bring you down a little bit lower. I'll get there. I'd say I've already taken some partials on my short. I mainly just have a runner running right now. And if I get a flush and I get pushed out on my long, that's okay. I've already taken the profits that's on it. I'm okay with that. And even if I get pushed out, I'm not opposed to looking at going back in on another long. Just disclaimer on that. Yeah, the liquidity is taken there, and institution money steps in and just flushes everybody down, all the way down to these levels right down here. That would be the next destination that I'd look at. Fee recovery on 1 minute. Somebody's gonna ask me, which I already see. My first TP will be right around here, 32, excuse me, 33.27 inside that area. Because if we keep breaking here in this side this is zone, then that daily is going to close underneath, and that's no bueno. I mean, ultimate TPs, I want to see like this area get flushed, just to create balance. No, I'm not getting annoyed. I get the same question like over and over and over and over again. That feels like bait. I mean, cold to me, bro, is uh, um, I mean, 57, 49 degrees is cold for me, to be honest with you. All right, that's cold for me. Really missed my level. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? Like pennies? Bro, it's like 90 cents. Yeah. Maybe I can get it one more touch in there. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I should get it here. I'm probably gonna come down into 76, so I'm actually gonna move you down a little bit lower. Watch it flush all those levels and then run right back up. I'm just gonna de-risk some of it here. If we go to 3210s, I mean, clearly you can see I'm positioned for it. I'm fine. I'd probably re-enter. It's probably just flushing out those I'd re-enter. Yeah, because there's 3275. I think I might have mine right at 3281. You see why I de-risked a little bit as soon as we had that little move up like that? That was intentional. Just offset some of my loss on my stop loss if we're hit. Can I cover that in an event? Yeah, you know, I'm doing like 800 on that move. And then the short is still printing another 4, so that covers that. And then there's 17 that's there. Then I'll just wait for the long. Hey, that 89, that 55 minute looks like it wants to have a little flushy poo. Because I have levels all the way down to 3276. Yeah, DMI doesn't look too good. I might just scalp it if we can even get to these levels. I think like 33.13. Feel like short of a miracle, to be honest with you. Does it look like it's closed, bro? Isaac? I don't get it. You guys ask some weird questions sometimes, man. Like, literally, you're staring at the same thing I'm staring at. I think that's the part that just becomes a little tiresome. You know, I took some time yesterday, make sure I can carve something out for you guys where you can see what I'm looking at, from entries to liquidity to the charts, my face. Like, it's all there. All you got to do is really just look at the screen. I don't know, man. It's like walking in going like, bro, like what's your long entry? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at on my screen here. What's your stop loss? I don't know. I don't even know what that is either. $32.84. What did I have that at? 32.84.29. I'm gonna just get a little bit more surgical with you. Oh, oh, oh. You're gonna stay. Stay night. Still gonna de-risk a little bit here as well too, just because I don't like it. I want that lower level. Up and dance with me. What happened? What? Yes, I'm still here. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Thanks, man. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting on your live link with others. It didn't work. Which live were you looking at? I mean, you could always just set notifications too. That might help you if you subscribe to this channel and then set notifications. You don't have to wait for the link. You'll get a notification from hit the little bell that's on YouTube. It should let you know. Hey, appreciate that, bro. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate you. YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by just YouTube. Okay, I'm good. I do have to use the restroom. So, you guys are going to have to give me a break for like 2 seconds. I got to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. If I can find my... Oh man, I'm here. I'm back. What'd I miss? I'll let it move up. What the hell just happened to this chart? Let me see. Let me fix something. Maybe that helps. I don't know. Looking at, I want to see this area tapped into, but if I get a full retracement back down, that's why I moved my stop loss back up. Yeah, see, that doesn't look good. I'll eat that. I'm looking at 33.24, 33.27. I don't know why it's